Hello and welcome to Bro Up. Oh, I take my glasses off. Hello and welcome to Bro Ups. This is episodes 3 and 4 of The Last Dance. Me and Nathan today. Gary couldn't make it due to work, but we're going to carry on. We'll press on because the hustle doesn't stop at Bro Ups. We'll also, if if there's room on the screen, I'm not sure what it looks like when two are recording. I'll add like a little slideshow of Gary, if I can be bothered. But yeah, we're here to talk about episodes 3 and 4. Nathan, welcome as usual.
Hello, Nathan here.
Thank you. And yeah, so The Last Dance episode 3 and 4. I think it was It was a lot more fun and a lot better than the not better, but just more controversial.
Yeah, it was kind of. I got it with the first one. Like the first two were obviously kind of setting the scene a bit. I felt like, whereas these ones kind of went into a bit more and there's a lot more footage of games and like obviously when they were better and stuff and playing better and winning and things like that. And I thought they were both really good. The first two, I was kind of like, I watched the first one and I was like, oh, I'll watch the second one. Whereas this time I was like, I've got to watch the fourth one. You know, it felt more of I wanted to watch it rather than just watching it.
Yeah.
Not saying it was bad. But.
Yeah, obviously, Dennis Rodman was like the talking point of these episodes, and I didn't realize. Like, obviously, we've seen him from like the movies and what you've heard in like on TV and stuff, and like Big Brother and that in the UK. But I didn't realize like how the hustle he had, but also how he made it to the NBA like kind of last minute.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anything about Dennis. I didn't even know he was considered good. Like, I knew he's in the team, and he got a lot of rebounds. But like, I just knew him because of that film he was in with Van Damme, the
Demolition Man.
No, that was Demolition Man. Sylvester Stallone. Oh, that was the thing I did want to ask. I thought they talked about Demolition Man in the episode, but I thought that was Wesley Snipes.
Let's have a look. Carry on anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, no, there's that film with Van Damme that he was in. It was like Double Team or something like that.
Double Team, yeah.
Yeah.
He was also in the Mighty Ducks, apparently.
The Mighty Ducks?
Yeah, D2.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, that's Double Team. Sorry, list. Not Demolition Man.
But they said Demolition Man in the episode, which is why it confused me as well.
Yeah, because I remember him having the hair.
Yeah. Maybe they just meant he copied Wesley Snipes' hair from Demolition Man.
Yeah, possibly.
Because it definitely wasn't Dennis Rodman in it, though, was it?
No, yeah, it's definitely Double Team he was in. Demolition Man was. I thought it was Wesley Snipes.
It is. I just had a look. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he had the same kind of hair, so maybe they meant he copied the hair.
Yeah. Anyway, who cares?
Off the point. Yeah. My point originally was that I just kind of knew from the films and knew that he played in the NBA, and then but seeing the footage of him was crazy, just like diving into the crowd, and,
like horizontal,
like proper dive, like not just sliding in. And I'm like, oh, the defense and stuff. I thought that was cool, just seeing like teams playing like really aggressive defense. Like you just don't see that now, do you? Like,
no,
it's not the same.
And like what we were saying, I think we mentioned it last week, was like the scores of the games. They're so low because, well, one, they didn't shoot as many threes, but two, they actually played defense compared to like what they do now. It's kind of like an all-star game until the fourth quarter.
Who scores the most, isn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, the things that I took from it, because I thought I pictured him as like the goon of the basketball. So like he was like the tough guy, the one who would get into the fights and stuff, which he kind of was, but he did actually. Yeah. He was he hustled he seemed to work the hardest in a way, apart from obviously like Jordan, but he worked the hardest on the defense.
Like he really accepted his role, hadn't he? Like that he knew that he wasn't a scorer, which you don't see as much. Where it's like, I guess there are players similar like Draymond Green and stuff like that, but like there's not a lot of players that are just kind of accept that kind of role of not doing as much. I don't think.
I liked what Gary Payton said about Dennis Rodman, because he was like, they were obviously talking about like what kind of player he was, and Gary Payton's words were, he's the fuck up person. He basically just fucks the game up for you. So as in for the opposing team, not for his own team. And that made me laugh a lot. I was like, oh, that's a cool trait to have. Like, they basically can't play the same when they're playing against Dennis Rodman.
I thought the look of the Pistons and stuff was cool as well, showing them like him playing for the Pistons and how they were like the bad guys. It was like proper
The
like something out of a movie, wasn't it?
yeah,
Like
the team that everyone had to beat at the end,
yeah,
like
and they
the
beat him how
final
many
boss.
times? Yeah,
Yeah,
they're too tough for him.
yeah, they the fouls and that. It's
Yeah,
like I swear we like when we played like together in like our league, you'd get the odd game where it was kind of like on the edge of that type of dirtiness, but you'd
yeah,
never see that in the NBA now, like
no,
nowhere close. And but it made it
no,
like it made it more like you cared more.
yeah,
And like I people were oh that tactics like they were disgusting, but they were winning games. Like
yeah. And like, there's obviously teams that do that in all sports. Like, there's the teams that play rough and like it works. I mean, obviously they would foul and stuff, but like, I mean, if they're winning games, which is like they said, that's just what they're doing, isn't
they were
it?
winning
That's how they're
titles, weren't
gonna.
they?
Yeah, yeah. Not only games, winning the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
it must have been doing something right as well. As it's not just as simple as they're playing dirty, is it? Like they're obviously a good team and they're good at playing that specific way.
And obviously, well, it's like when in football when you've got players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi.
Mm.
Like if you can take them out of the game so your
Yeah,
team can win, then the winning's the most important thing for in that. Like when it's high stakes like that, you
yeah,
can if you can win like that and the rest don't care, then you're going to do it.
yeah. And teams like that are all good as well, though, because then like when they do get beaten, it makes it all like that much more sweet, doesn't it? Like when
Yeah,
they finally beat him in the second episode, and it was just like you could see the relief of them,
yeah. It's like
like they
fuck you,
finally
fuck
done
you.
it, kind of thing. Like yeah, reached the mountain, kind of thing. It's
Yeah,
like I think yeah, it sets it up for that as well.
yeah. Yeah. Obviously, with them showing it going like obviously going back into time and showing that Dennis Rodman had originally played for the Pistons and was obviously
Mm.
like the tough guy again there. Um, I'll just have a quick look at his stats when he was at the Pistons.
Yeah,
So considering like how highly looked at he was and like people seem to obviously value him. In his first season for Detroit, he had 6.5 points a game.
hmm
His best for his whole career was his second season where he had 11.6 points per game.
yeah,
And then after the lowest he when was it? Yeah, so he only went from like 6.5 to 11.6. Like that was his absolute highest, and then it was like 9, 8.8, 8.2,
yeah.
nine
So
point eight,
around the
and
10 mark, kind of.
7.5. Yeah, but like everyone said about his rebounds, but even his rebounds weren't probably what you would like go for now. So like first season was 4.3 a game. The highest he had was his second to last season, which was 18.7 rebounds a game, which is
That's a
actually
lot.
yeah, is a lot.
Yeah,
And yeah, so his rebounds were exactly what they wanted.
yeah.
Rebounds and the tough guy.
That's what I mean. Like when I found that bit really interesting when he was going into, when he finally realized that like he wasn't going to be a scorer and this is what he can do, and like he was saying how he'd sit down and watch film of like
Yeah,
players playing and learn how when they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and like just learn like studying defense kind
and
of
go to
thing.
like with his friends like stupidly late at night and just get them to put up
Yeah,
shots, and he'd
just
rebound
yeah,
them.
I'll play defense. It's
Can
kind
you
of like
imagine
no
like
one does it.
going to the court and just being like, "Oh, can you come with me and shoot, and I'll rebound them
Yeah,
for
I'll
you."
get the ball for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah okay, sweet.
yeah. There wasn't much glory for him, but obviously it did.
No.
It ended up working out.
Well, it worked because even from the looks of things, he had like a pretty good career in the NBA, didn't he? Like
Yeah,
winning a champion how many of the times? I don't know what the total would be, but like they pretty much smashed it, didn't they?
yeah.
Like, he was
Obviously,
winning championships before Michael Jordan.
yeah, he was. Yeah. Obviously sticking with Dennis Rodman. I've got a few other people players to talk about, but the obviously the funniest bit was when he went to Phil Jackson and Jordan and said
yeah,
basically, "I need a break. I need to go
yeah,
party. I need to let loose," and
yeah,
like that made me laugh alone. But then it was Jordan's quote where it was like, "He needs a fucking. I need a fucking break.
yeah,
Like I've been carrying this team all season."
yeah,
It was good to see like more personality out of Michael Jordan as
yeah,
well.
definitely,
Um,
yeah,
and like he obviously like him and Dennis Rodman weren't like the best of friends, but it seems that like the stories he tells were like there is a genuine like
yeah,
bond and friendship in that way,
definitely,
and
yeah,
it was funny to see like yeah him talk about him that way.
Yeah.
What did you think of him? Obviously, going like, can you imagine like, well, to be honest, James Harden probably does it. You know, you always hear about him in strip clubs and stuff. But can
Mm.
you imagine like any player now in the NBA going, oh, halfway through the season, there, I'm gonna go let loose in Vegas.
Yeah, and not only that, they're not coming back when they're
Yeah.
supposed to.
What was it?
Like,
48 hours was his.
and it just turned into a few more. Like, I can't remember how many it
Was
got
it
to, but it
like
was a
a
lot
few more
more.
days? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but that was the thing that, like, when I was saying earlier, like, I didn't know how good Dennis Rodman was. It was like seeing that bit would made you realize. Like, I remember seeing someone online the other day. It was like, if you don't know how good Dennis Rodman is, just remember Michael Jordan went to Vegas to find him
Yeah.
and bring
Yeah.
him back to basketball. Like,
Yeah. I
that's
didn't even think
how
about
good he was.
that.
Like they went and dragged him out of Vegas. Like, I think that bit was it was just so weird seeing it. And I think you're right. Like the whole it was cool seeing like the camaraderie because obviously at the time like it was probably like a bit of a ball ache for them all. But then like
Yeah, especially like
it's
that,
good
what we
that
kind of saw of Jordan in the first two episodes, where he was like
yeah
locking down on everyone and like giving them
yeah
shit all the time, which was still
yeah
good to see. But like, I don't think he wouldn't have been able to do that to Dennis Rodman as much. I think he's
no yeah
Phil Jackson was obviously the one who could like tame Dennis
get
Rodman in a
through to
way.
him
Yeah,
yeah
yeah, and I like to see another side of Phil Jackson because lately we've only kind of seen his not such a good side to him of like whether I think he coaching the Knicks and it kind of fell apart and stuff like that.
Well,
So
I knew I knew the name. Like I don't know if I'm being a
mm,
massive noob now, but like I knew that I'd heard the name Phil Jackson, and but I knew that he coached someone now, but like or had recently, but I wasn't
yeah,
sure who it was.
his career's kind of going off on like a sour point, I believe. I'm just going to check that
Okay.
before we go ahead. But yeah, it was cool to see how like, especially also to see like his highlights, like his
Yeah.
to show that he was a
Oh
player.
yeah.
It was
He
really
looked like
weird.
someone out of like semi-pro, didn't he? You know, the one with
Yeah,
Will Ferrell.
yeah,
Like,
like he's playing for the Tropics.
yeah,
But also he's really like broad. Like
yeah,
he was like out here his shoulders. It was really weird.
mm,
So yeah, obviously Dennis Rodman goes to Vegas. He parties with the likes of Carmen Electra and
mm.
all these other random girls and guys. Um, I loved obviously when it showed Jordan going to get him back, and he was telling how they just turned up, and obviously like Carmen went and hid or whatever.
Yeah.
And you could see Dennis Rodman like in his pajamas, like while they were standing in the
Oh
half
yeah,
court.
yeah. They could take him straight to practice. He's in like his slippers and pajama
He
bottoms,
still
isn't
had his like, yeah, that was so
he?
funny. He had the pajama trousers on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like just fresh out of bed. He actually went there. I'm surprised. Like
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, fair enough. You got me. Like I'm coming back.
yeah, he seemed to just like, okay, time to crack on now. I liked how it
Yeah.
showed. Then it showed obviously him working hard and that like he'd let loose, let off some steam, and then just
He got out of his system.
because I did check because I wanted to check. Obviously, like he went to Vegas to party
Hmm.
and I imagine drink and do other things with people. But I wanted to check when they actually started drug testing in the NBA
Oh yeah.
because I don't. I'm not saying he took drugs or anything, but it's kind of what you know. You can kind of get away with anything in Vegas.
Yeah.
But no, they were doing drug tests from like 1984 in the NBA. So
Okay.
yeah, that was never obviously looked upon.
Yeah.
But yeah, going away from Rodman now, well, from the Hustle King Dennis Rodman.
Hmm.
Um, obviously, what did you think of? We'll start with the Cavs game 5 that they showed, the buzzer beater, because I've seen that highlight, but
That's the
I
same.
didn't
Yeah. I
know
never
how
knew where it was.
important,
Yeah.
no, how important it
Yeah.
was.
I saw. Yeah. I've seen that clip loads of times,
And that's the
but
punch one, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
but never knew what game it was from. But no, that was cool finally seeing it in an actual game and like what was
and getting
going
some
on with it all,
context to it.
the
Yeah,
story behind it. Yeah, no, that was cool. I think yeah, all the footage they've shown from the playoffs and stuff is like just seeing like, how like intense the games. Obviously, it's highlight footage, so it's gonna look like that anyway. But like most of the games are like close and like obviously having to fight and like
yeah.
Jordan's doing a lot and Pippen's doing a lot. It's just like cool seeing all the footage from it.
What did you think of the Pippin return?
Yeah, I was excited. I was glad that he kind of came back and was like, "Well, if I'm gonna be here, I might as well
Might as well
do
play.
it properly." Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was worried that he was just gonna be like that the whole season, and or like like kind of like what happened with Kawhi Leonard at Spurs.
Oh yeah, just
He
sit out
just
the
kind of
whole
like
year in a
yeah, I
huff.
thought
Yeah,
that I was wondering if something like that was gonna happen, but it was good to see them kind of pull together because obviously like knowing that and they know as well that it's the last dance.
yeah,
That it's good to see them pulling together to try and do it rather than just being like Yeah, well, yeah, we've done it.
Yeah.
We've done enough, kind of
And
thing.
then Rodman was kind of like not Jordan's best mate anymore.
Yeah, that's when he went to Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah,
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 because he's like again, he didn't like that again.
yeah. But yeah, it seemed that it worked for everyone. I think
Yeah.
it felt like a bit with Pippen though. Like, oh, they're winning. Yeah, I'll play now. But
Maybe.
obviously they needed him too. You can kind of
Yeah.
tell it was
I
like
guess like he's pissed off, and then like when he realizes it's either well, unless I get traded, I'm here anyway, so I might as well. And maybe he felt bad after a while as well. You could see like Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, like going for it or
yeah,
whatever, and then
watching his
like
teammates.
yeah. So then like they've been mates for a long time, so he probably felt bad after a while, didn't he? Like he realized that like although he might be getting back at the Bulls, he's also hurting his teammates, isn't he? So
Yeah,
he probably I'd
double-edged
reckon there's something
sword,
like
mate.
that to do. Yeah.
A couple more things before we close it. Um, the I've wrote down here the walk off.
Oh yeah, that was so sad. Like how the one way to make losing worse is to be a sore loser and just and
Exactly.
like go off in a sulk. Like you just made
So,
yourself look like such dickheads.
so this was like after the Pistons had finally been beaten by the Bulls
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
yeah,
Yeah. So this was for the Bulls to go on to the finals, I think, when it was the Eastern
yeah.
Conference
It's the
Finals,
Eastern Conference Finals because
and
they
they
played
went to
Lakers in the
Game
final, didn't
Seven, I think, or something like that.
they? I can't
No, no, it
remember.
was a
Yeah,
sweep. It was a sweep.
is it a sweep?
Yeah, it was a sweep,
Okay.
and so yeah, I believe yeah. So the Bulls obviously swept the Pistons
Mm.
after what year? A couple of years of getting beaten like
Like
at the
3 or 4
last.
years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but what kind of got me? Obviously, they did the walk off, which yeah, it was a bit pathetic. Like you as Jordan said, like I know I kind of thought no, I didn't know about anything about the walk off, but when they showed like Jordan shaking hands, I was like, like previously with all the
Yeah,
players after they lost, I was like,
yeah,
why are they showing his sportsmanship now? Like
yeah,
obviously they were talking about how competitive he was, and obviously the Pistons were fouling him all the time.
yeah,
Still had like the balls to like obviously like go shake their hands at the end of the game.
yeah.
But yeah, the Pistons like all agreeing, yeah, let's just walk off.
Yeah.
But it was weird because Dennis Rodman was playing for them then.
Was it? Oh yeah, that
I'm pretty
was.
sure Rodman was playing for them then, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
would have been. Yeah.
And yeah, to see like one such bad sportsmanship, but two, like just it just seemed a bit sad.
It just makes. Yeah, I know they're like, oh well, it's basketball or whatever. I can't remember what Isaiah Thomas was saying. He's saying something like,
He said the Celtics did it to them or something.
oh yeah, it's just yeah, but it
That
doesn't
doesn't
mean oh
justify it.
yeah, like oh that's all right then. Like it's just I don't know. I feel like they were like they've been beaten, they've been knocked off the top spot kind of in the East or whatever. Like just grow up and be like, yeah, fair enough, you beat us,
Yeah.
well done. Like it's just I know you might be annoyed, but like if anything, you're the guys that have been like fouling them and like taking
Yeah.
them out for years, and then like it should be them that wouldn't want to shake hands with you.
Yeah.
It's just that makes it so much worse because it's just like, oh yeah, but if that happens, you just think the other team, you think less of them for doing it, and it's just they're kind of sulking, isn't it? It just
Yeah.
looks, I don't know, I wouldn't,
What got me was the fact that Jordan was still pissed about it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
still like you won't talk to him or anything, it seems.
yeah,
And like when they were like, "Oh, here's the footage of what Isaiah said," he was like, "Oh, he's just gonna be making up some shit anyway."
yeah.
He was like, he's had all these years to just bullshit it.
To think of an excuse and
Yeah,
stuff, which
yeah,
he's just, I can't remember exactly what he said now, but it's something like, oh, it just happened, If I knew what was going to happen, that was it. If I knew
yeah,
the backlash it was going to create, would I have still done it? Probably not. But like,
yeah. It was
it's just
something
kind of,
like
yeah,
this. The Celtics, like we were playing the Celtics, and when we beat them, or they left, and when I tried to shake hands with one of them, and then he said,
yeah.
"Yeah," it was just like. Just you can
Just
be
that's the
like if you're
Celtics, though,
gonna
isn't it?
yeah be honest and just say we were fucked off, we
So
lost.
what was their point was that they were considered the bad guys, wasn't it? So like when someone did it to them, no one cared, but now they've done
Yeah,
it to the Bulls, and obviously like Michael Jordan being the new face of the NBA, like, but it's just like, yeah, but that's such a childish
excuse.
reason,
Yeah,
isn't it? Like, oh
yeah,
well, they don't care when they did it to us. Like, come on, mate.
yeah. But yeah, I did love the fact how Jordan was still pissed off about it now. It
Yeah,
was like, however, what 30 years later, 25 years
it's
later.
it's like nice seeing like his like I did obviously you don't really know much about him other than from what like the highlights in Space Jam and like rare interviews or whatever that we've seen. But then like to see like he's actually how competitive he is, like it's
Yeah,
just I think it does show that he's kind of just on like another level of like just that kind of like everything's about winning still.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So yeah, moving on to like the last point of what of the episode that like really got me was obviously they were playing well. I think at the end it showed that they were like back on track, and then Jerry Krause made that like I didn't write down what the actual thing was right at the end, but it was basically like, oh yeah, it was the Michael Jordan thing. So if Michael doesn't want to, isn't going to play for Phil Jackson won't be here next year. So
mm.
If Michael Jordan doesn't want to play for another coach, then he has to make his mind up or whatever. He
Yeah,
basically like shot the team in the leg while
yeah,
they were like winning. I just
yeah.
didn't get that, like what his motive for that was, or what he
No,
thought would accomplish from that.
well that's what I was saying. I think I said it last time, like how I don't understand why all of a sudden he's trying to change the team so much because like, it was a working formula, like and I don't know what else is going. Maybe they'll go into it a bit more, but like they don't seem they're not old. Like if like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman are younger than Michael Jordan, aren't they? But they're talking about
Yeah, I think
keeping
so.
Michael Jordan and get rid of them and things like that. And it's just like I don't know if it's still working, just keep doing it until it stops working. Like
Yeah, exactly.
that, but like maybe there's some more different
Yeah, maybe in the
things
next
going
two
on. Like
episodes we'll find out. But
which
it
might
just
just it's
seemed
probably just
like
money, isn't it?
that. Oh, we're doing so well, but I'm gonna like shit all over it just to
Yeah.
keep my name in there, type thing. To
Well, he
know,
doesn't
let
like
them.
that he's not getting any attention, does he? That's
It
what they
seems
were
to be
saying
like
in the
I'll let
first.
them know who's boss, type thing.
Yeah, like just yeah, reminder kind of thing. Like yeah, you're
Yeah.
doing well, but like remember you still work for me kind of
Mm.
thing. Like, that's what I think. He's got like some sort of weird power thing.
Well, he is tiny, so that probably doesn't help either. Like
Yeah,
nothing against short people. Um, okay, yeah. So overall, really, I found it a really like two interesting episodes to like one see a bit more of Michael Jordan's personality, and two to see like Dennis Rodman. I just think he's hilarious. Like he's
yeah,
amazing at what he does, and he's hilarious. Like there's no like disrespect
yeah,
there. I think like his personality is brilliant because it's next to like Jordan, who's so serious, and Pippen,
yeah.
who's kind of like he's a bit like robotic. So then
It's
you've got
been
this guy who's
it's
like
very
all
mellow.
out there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's kind of what I liked about it was more personality, I think.
yeah,
So should we call it there? Do you think
yeah. That
we've
sounds good.
covered enough? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I could do a little summary, if you
Yeah,
want.
go for it.
I no, I think it's definitely. I think you're right. Like I think um, these ones were definitely a lot better. Not that like I said, the other ones were bad. It's just that I think these ones were. There was just seeing the different characters coming in, being like like you're saying with Dennis Rodman's a bit mad, and then the other two are obviously so serious, and like seeing the playoff fight and like the how the
Hmm.
Detroit Pistons are the bad guys, which I've always kind of thought that anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if like they've got that reputation. They must have that reputation anyway, still. But I always thought it because of like that video of them fighting the Pacers
Oh yeah, yeah.
and like Detroit being like from what you hear is like kind of like a hard city kind of
Mm.
thing. And then like so they've always seemed like that kind of physical team even now I think so it's
Yeah,
like it's
definitely.
cool seeing like maybe where it originated from if there's it might have been before that I don't know but no yeah I thought it was really good very good episodes I'm looking forward to the next ones
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks, Nate, for your time. Don't worry,
no
guys.
worries
Gary will be back next week. He will also likely be indoors, which will be
great
nice. Which that won't matter to this episode actually because he was outdoors for Bro Ops episode 3. But yeah, Gary will be back next week, and yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, share this if you want, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
see ya
Bye.